What's up, Sonic fans? Welcome to the show where we talk all things Sonic and the upcoming Sonic the Hedgehog movie. My name is Ethan, and here with me is my co-host, Devin.
I'm Devin the Echidna, but you can call me Devin.
That's a deep cut of a joke. I appreciate that.
I don't know if
I was
anyone
going
will
to go
know
with
it.
something far more simple, but that works.
I don't know if anyone was gonna get that one. But if you played Sonic Adventure 2, there's a certain little is it a cutscene technically? Or
I
is it like
think
a little
it's
intro, like a welcome back part?
yeah, it's
like
it's after you turn the
died,
game off and
yeah.
turn it back on,
But
like you
Knuckles is
reload a
like,
save or something.
I'm Knuckles the Echidna, but everyone calls me Knuckles. It's like, thanks, dude. Appreciate it.
In any case, why are we doing this?
Because we love Sonic.
Do we?
I don't know. It's like a love-hate relationship for me. Like, after playing Sonic Adventure 2, I'm like, there's some parts that I really love, and there's other parts where I'm like, this hurts me a lot, mentally,
I guess
physically.
we should explain who we are and why we're doing this.
All right. Well, I guess I'll go first. My name's Devin. I guess I stream. I hate saying I'm a streamer when you're not doing it as your day job. So I guess I stream on the days off of work or whatnot. But
Streaming is your side gig.
Yeah, it's my side gig. Not that I get really paid for it, but Sonic for me has been part of my life for a long time that I didn't even know about, because my first game I really remember playing was, I don't remember which Sonic it is, but it's on the Genesis. That's like one of the first memories I have of a gaming console and also of a game. I remember you're with Tails and like it's more of like a 3D tunnel, and you're like collecting rings, you're going up and down and stuff. But
that sounds to me like that's one of like the special stages in Sonic 2.
I think it is. I've done some research, and I think that's what it is.
So your first video game you ever played was most likely Sonic 2.
Yes.
Way back in the day. Mm-hmm. But then have you played Sonic since?
It was a big gap of my life that wasn't Sonic filled. But I guess you reintroduced me into Sonic. I mean, I knew of Sonic, and like, I think maybe I played it here and there. Maybe if I like rented, I don't even think I rented it. No, I don't think I ever played Sonic again. I don't think I ever played Sonic again until Sonic Adventure 2.
When I showed that to you.
Yeah, on Video Game Dad.
Yeah, like for me, like Sonic was always on my radar. I was aware that there was a character named Sonic and he had a video game or whatever. Mm-hmm. But my first, and I probably played it like one of the Sonic games on Genesis at a friend's house during a birthday party or something like that as a kid, whatever. But the first Sonic game that I ever played, for real, that I have real memories of, was I was going to Walmart with my mom just to look at stuff. Not sure why we were there, but they had at a little demo kiosk for GameCube Sonic Adventure 2.
Oh,
it was the demo. It was City Escape, but it was right before the truck. And I remember I somehow am just being chased by a truck. And, as a kid, I was like, I don't know, 8, 7, okay. maybe even younger. I don't remember. And it didn't really like the video game or movie magic, as a lot of people like to call it, was like really affected me. Like I had no idea that like it was a super linear, like Sonic turns at these set streets or whatever. I thought like I was deciding where we're going as this truck is just dynamically chasing me. No, it's just like puppets on a string being pulled along. But that captured me. I'm like, oh man, I want to play this. This looks so cool, being chased by a truck. And somehow I convinced my mom to buy it. And I walked home and played that a whole bunch. So ever since then, when I've had more money, I pretty much gone back and played almost every Sonic game, especially all of the newer ones for sure. Been disappointed every single time. And yeah. And that's why I wanted to show you my first Sonic game on Video Game Dad, a little series we did once. It was show something. You my hell and introduce hell to you.
Yeah, it was something, especially that second to last level with all the grinding of the rails there in space. Holy shit. I'm editing the last episode of Video Game Dad right now, and that whole section is over an hour long. It took me an hour to beat that level. Probably didn't help that we were playing about 2 hours worth before that level, so I was probably already kind of sick of it. So I was just punishing myself more. And then I'm very streaky when it comes to video games. Like, if I'm on a roll, I'll be on a roll. But once I hit that first like rut, it's all downhill. It's just I start getting frustrated. All the stuff I knew I could do earlier, I can no longer do because I'm trying to think of that last part that I struggled with, and then it's just all downhill.
And then when you pick it up the next day, you do it on the first try.
It happened to me last night with Uncharted. I was stuck on one part, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go to bed now, and then I'll work on it next morning.
And it's always frustrating to admit that you need to stop. Like you're not just not gonna get it; you need to stop. You know.
But who doesn't need to stop? Sonic.
In any case,
he's rolling
you can
the theaters,
understand where we're coming from. We are Sonic fans at heart.
We're not.
I may have more experience.
We might not be diehard. Maybe you are,
but we understand.
I love Sonic. Generally,
80% of Sonic is trash. But then we see merit in it. We see stuff that's worth protecting. It's like a small child that you don't want to see bullied at the playground.
I mean, I saw on Reddit. What was I saying? On Reddit, I saw someone was talking about how like Sega has no idea that they have this Mickey Mouse almost of video game characters that they don't really do a great job with sometimes. You know what I mean? Like Sonic has all this, still has its potential. I mean, Mickey Mouse has been around for what, almost 100 years, close to that, maybe. Someone can fact check me on that. I have no idea. But I mean, Sonic, you gotta remember, was what, 1991?
Yeah.
So like, Sonic's still young. So yeah, he might have some trash. So like, long term, I'm like, you know what? Maybe Sonic still has a chance to be, Sonic and being one of the cornerstones, I guess, of gaming. I mean, Mario, I think, is one of the first cornerstones of gaming. Like,
it's
people
just
think of video games,
Sega,
they think of Mario.
It seems that Sega has no interest in really spending the money and time getting it right.
And every time there's a chance of it being right, I feel like the next installment is just they didn't learn anything. Like they just go back to the trash. Right. It's like, maybe, I mean, it might just be us that feel that way. I'm sure there's some fanboys out there who'll get upset about those comments, but
we're pained fans. We love Sonic.
I think it's okay to be honest. I love Godzilla, and I can be honest with you that 85% of the films, especially in like the 60s and 70s, are hot trash. Maybe they're great when you're a kid, but they're not great to watch now. And I think it's the same with Sonic, because a lot of people, I think, maybe grew up with Sonic, and they're like, oh, Sonic can do no wrong. And I'm like,
I saw Sonic with those hookers.
But I guess that brings us to the Sonic movie, and that, like, what do we want in a Sonic film? I mean, do we even want a Sonic film? I know you were kind of talking about it before we started recording about, do you even want a Sonic film?
I mean, quite frankly, it's hard for me to answer that because I have a strong feeling that it's going to be trash. I would want a Sonic film. I just don't think it's going to be handled correctly.
All right. Well, let's say all of a sudden Warner Brothers or someone is like, hey, we have $100 million. Ethan, you have all the time in the world, all the actors you can get, everything you need. We can get it for you. Make us a Sonic movie. What are you doing? What are you going to make?
Well, is there any stipulations? Like,
no, you can do whatever you want.
I wouldn't have it be live action. I would just have it be like a CG.
Would it be cartoony or like Sonic Boom is, or would it be?
Well, I mean, production values if that show had the production values of a movie, it would look a lot better. Even if they still kept the same artistic design.
So you do more animation, or is it just straight CG?
It would be a 3D CG movie,
like Avatar.
No, not like stereoscopic 3D. Just like all animated movies are today. It would be 3D. It would be focused on the few things of Sonic that people like: the sense of speed, the roller coaster type gameplay, the general cocky attitude.
So how are you going to get that into a movie? I think that's hard. I think that is hard. Not saying it's going to be easy to make a good Sonic movie, but I don't know. Is there for example, would you hire the same voice actors from, like, let's say the original Sonic games, or even the most recent Sonic games?
I would obviously keep the voice actors of the current games. I mean, well, number one, that's going to keep your budget down, but I don't really see so they hired, I don't know what's the actor's name that's playing Sonic in this movie.
Hold on,
I should probably know this.
I have Ben Schwartz is the voice of Sonic. He's from Parks and Rec. DuckTales, TMNT, and BoJack Horseman. Just to name a couple
So
of his
he's
things.
done voiceover work,
Yeah,
and
so
all I
I
really know
trust
of him
him.
is from Parks and Rec. But it's
And we'll
like
talk about that later, but go ahead.
oftentimes they like, oh, we need big name stars attached to the movie to put butts in the
Like
theater
Jim
seats.
Carrey and all that.
Right. I mean, that being, a live action movie, like, sure, like, it's okay to have those actors, but Sonic is in that movie is still animated.
Yeah.
Does it really need to be that guy? And I'm not saying anything about that guy, but like, what would make it closer to the character that people know is you have it be the same voice.
Yeah.
It's kind of similar to like all of the, what I assume is probably production hell for the Uncharted movie and the Last of Us movie. I know the Uncharted movie is going in one way, but last I heard about the Last of Us movie, it's the exact same story of the game, but with obviously none of the voice and acting talent that made that game.
Yeah.
So it's like you're doing something that's so similar to a thing people like because of those things, but then you're changing it. You know what I mean? So like I don't really see a reason to change an animated character's voice actor to a guy that is not the same person. Now, granted, he probably auditioned for it. So I highly doubt that they handpicked him and said, no, we need you. You're doing this. Like they probably had a casting call for it and they tried to find people that had that general cocky attitude, found a few people, they liked him.
It also comes down to money sometimes
and
and availability. Because maybe like, this person, he's like, oh, sorry, I'm doing another movie right now. I can't do Sonic. Even though I think voice acting is not easier, but like it's quicker
I feel like
to get done.
For that Sonic the Hedgehog movie is a lot higher than like a Sonic video game would be.
Yeah,
or any video game, because the guy that voices Sonic in the games, I forgot his last name, but he's a voice actor. He doesn't do any traditional acting, film roles, film TV, or any. It's all voice acting, all voiceover stuff. So like the movie is gonna pay him more. So I'm pretty sure his agent would have just immediately ate that up.
We don't even know if he was contacted or whatnot, but
I have a feeling they're like, no, we need a big name for Sonic because reasons.
I mean, money reasons. It always comes down to money. You want to, because you got to remember, they are trying to fit a more general audience. I'll talk about it a little bit more later. How Jim Carrey even said, we're trying to fit a general audience here. They're not just trying, like, they already know the Sonic fans, the general Sonic fan, or even the Sonic fanboys are going to come. You know what I mean? That's a duh. You know what I mean? Unless maybe there's a couple people who are like, I'm not seeing it because I don't, it's not truly Sonic or something like that. You know what I mean? But any of these like more niche films, like even I think the only one that maybe is a little bit different is Detective Pikachu, because I think a lot more people know who Pikachu is over Sonic. Like if I went outside right now and asked a person in the parking lot, being like, "Hey, what do you think of Sonic?" They're gonna be like, "Huh?" Or they'll maybe like,
"Oh, I played." A picture of each character. They're gonna 9 times out of 10 know Pikachu over Sonic, unless they know both.
Yeah, and maybe if they know Sonic, it's like, "Oh yeah, I played that at my friend's house when I was 14," or something like that. You know what I mean? It isn't like a lot more people are playing Pokemon, I think, as they get older than they are Sonic, and I think that's why like we need to get these bigger name actors in here so that like the general person on a Sunday afternoon, he's like, and I'm going to go to the theater, but I don't know what to see. I'm like, oh, Sonic. Though?
Sure. I can understand
Jim Carrey's in it. Okay, cool. So like I can get that.
But the guy playing Sonic is not that person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, people know who Ben Schwartz is. I mean, from Parks and Rec and all that. So
I guess, but like now, you know what I mean? Like how many people saw that casting and said, oh, who is that guy? And had someone say, oh, it's the guy. It's a guy from Parks and Rec, a show that started 10 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, I just feel like having it be for a general audience is great. But if it's live action, you're taking so many more deviations away from the source material.
Mm.
And I'm not saying it's lying about what Sonic is, because Sonic has been 20 million things. He's had a gun.
It's not like he's had
in a couple games.
Well, it's not like he has a general set of rules, but they're like pretty general. You know what I mean?
He
He's
runs
cocky.
fast.
He runs fast. It's not like he had like an origin story. He was like, my father died at the age of 3 and I've never been the same or something like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? He doesn't have like a real character arc. It's not like he learns lessons really, or like there's any
And neither
development.
really does
So
Mario. You know what I mean? And they're making a Mario movie, and it'd be interesting to see how that works. That one is going to be 100% animated.
interesting.
And that guy doesn't even talk. So I'd be really interested to see how the Mario movie works out, as opposed to Sonic, who like
Unless they just do a
a
lot,
lot
of
of people like
face
Sonic.
acting. You know what I mean? Where they're just you can know what he's thinking by his actions, almost like a cartoon animal or something like in or like the next Dora the Explorer film has Boots there. Like I'm sure Boots is going to be like expressive, you know what I mean? So like maybe that's what they're going to do with Mario. But Sonic speaks, so like it's going to be interesting. I mean,
And children like those characters.
yeah, they want things that talk, I think. It's especially when you're younger, it's I think you're more attached to things that talk and cuz you're learning from them and all that good stuff.
I don't know. In any case, it's hard for us to nitpick something that we really haven't seen more than like a poster for.
Yeah. I mean, I know what I would
mean?
do for Sonic. For me, like, because one of the executive producers is Tim Miller, who directed Deadpool. So, like, that movie does a good job of not taking itself so seriously. If this movie can not take itself seriously, which is what I would do, be like, it's fucking Sonic. Like, nothing should be realistic about this, or there shouldn't be any like drama.
The stakes should be cartoony.
Yeah, like,
you know what I mean?
If the world's in danger, make it stupid. Like Dr. Eggman has what's that? A moon laser or whatever it was, the
Right.
Death Star. Like have it be
Don't
like
really
that.
show people suffering.
Yeah, just it's like nothing like that. So that's something I would do. I mean, my opening scene would obviously be actually I think I would have Knuckles. He'd arrive in a helicopter, right? And he lands on like an air base. And he goes inside like one of the offices and he goes up to this one guy. He's like, where is he? And he's like, oh, he's in the back there. And then he goes to the back and there's Sonic sitting with a cigar in hand. And he goes, Sonic, you son of a bitch. And then they go and handshake. And then he's like, what's wrong, Sonic? The CIA got you collecting too many rings. That's the opening scene. Because it's going to be so stupid. And they're like, oh, wow, it's a reference to Predator. But only the older people will get it. But it's also still funny because it's like, it's Sonic for the younger people. You know what I mean? I'd go that kind of direction where it's just a spoof of itself. Maybe there's some fourth wall breaking where like Sonic talks to the audience, be like, man, Dr. Robotnik's at it again, huh?
Man, this movie sucks.
This movie sucks or something like that. But that's,
I know one thing I don't want. I don't want them to go through the, this is a video game property, so he's going to be in a video game and he's going to come into the real world. Like, if that happened, like,
well, I got some bad
God.
news for you. So I did a little digging before we started recording here. So first I'll touch on that in a second, but let me read off some of the people who are involved in this film. So you got Tim Miller, who directed Deadpool. He's the executive producer. Ben
and
Schwartz.
An executive producer is mostly like the person making the financial decisions about budget.
So it's not
how much is
deal.
this scene? How much money are we going to spend on the special effects in this scene and all that? He's not really.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm just saying I was trying to get big names here.
Because I remember when like Man of Steel was coming out, and Christopher Nolan is the producer. Like that doesn't make that movie like The Dark Knight. And you know what I mean? But
yeah, exactly.
Go on.
Jeff Fowler is the director. The biggest movie I saw on the list that he doesn't have that many movies in terms of being a director, but well, he's not even a director technically. He is one of the visual effects people for When the Wild Things Are. So that kind of makes sense in terms of how Sonic, the leaked picture of Sonic looks. I think that's a little interesting. But he's only directed one other movie, and it's a short called Go for Broke. So he's we don't really got much on him. He's a young guy, so maybe that could be a good thing. Maybe
it could be his breakout sensation.
Yeah.
He was a sleeping talent this whole time. This was his breaking.
I like these new I like new directors a lot because
And
they
it's
sometimes
also
are
probably
different.
because they were,
No one wants to direct a
a
Sonic
lot
film,
cheaper.
and no one wants to direct a Sonic film.
Yeah.
But then we have James Marsden as one of the cops, the sheriffs of the town, which his name is Tom Wachowski. He was Cyclops in X-Men. He was also in Enchanted,
Really?
Westworld, and 30 Rock. So we have Cyclops in this film, folks.
Hmm.
Then of course we got our boy Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik.
Mm-hmm.
And also one more actress who I'm going to touch on your point about the whole video game world versus the real world. So her name is Tika Sumpter. I don't know much about her. I didn't research her further, but she plays one of the vets in the movie, which I'm like, okay, so
there's gonna be a gag where like, oh, he's
Sonic
sick and we can't take him to a hospital.
something like that. But I watched some of the quick interviews done at CinemaCon where the trailer was played just to a selected group of people. But before I go into that, Tika said in the interview, quote, "I'm one of the ones who helps get Sonic through this dimension of a world and figure it out." So that makes me think that he's from another dimension. Maybe he's fighting Dr. Robotnik and he gets teleported to Earth realm. So maybe he's in the Mortal Kombat or something like that. I don't know.
I guess.
But
That's still a little better than like, a couple scrappy kids playing Sonic the Hedgehog on
you're
their
saying
Genesis
he
or
comes
whatever.
out
He
of like the
pops
video
out of the
game.
TV. Like,
Oh, that's what
that-
you're worried about. I don't think that's
makes me
going to
roll my
happen.
eyes.
I think there might be a world, like it's going to be Green Hill Zone and all those worlds in like Sonic realm, and like somehow Dr. Robotnik's like, well, if I can't conquer this world, I guess I'll go to the other one, this other dimension, and that's going to be Earth. Or
And then is
something.
he going to look cartoony, or is he just going to look like a regular person with a giant mustache?
Well, from Reddit, I'm a frequent lurker on the Sonic subreddit. When people who've seen the trailer have said that he looks cartoony, but he's not super cartoony either. So I think he'll be a mix, maybe of CGI and Jim Carrey, because Jim Carrey's he's not big like Dr. Robotnik is. So it'd be kind of funny to me if they do like a fat suit that's like clearly a fat suit, but that's also everything else would have to not be taken seriously once again. They're like,
Question.
yeah.
What is on IMDb or whatever, information you have, what's his character called? Is it Robotnik or is it Eggman?
It does say Dr. Ivo Robotnik. Evo.
Okay.
So and he's listed as the top star.
If they call him Eggman and he's not like obnoxiously fat, then it's almost like misleading. But if they're gonna go for like what Americans knew him by back in the day, because he was always called Eggman in Japan, and then like one day they just decided that games from now on he's just gonna be called Eggman everywhere. But
yeah, there's a couple different.
I mean, like you said, he's hopping dimensions, and it's like this is a new director, and you didn't mention who the writer is yet, or unless this is a writer and director combo person. But I think we'll be able to judge the quality of the writer and director based off how much time they spend on like fish out of water jokes, like, oh, what's a Starbucks, or oh, like what do you mean there's a traffic light? I just run all the time. You know what I mean? Like how much time they spend on like the same kind of humor you get everywhere.
Yeah,
like
it's not going to be
kinds of movies
fresh, I guess. But we have Patrick Casey and Josh Miller, the first two of 6 writers, and both Patrick.
And that's not uncommon to have a small squad.
And it says Patrick and Josh both worked on most of the same movies, which I've never seen any of these movies at all. 12 Deadly Days, a YouTube Red film.
Oh.
I don't see anything on here that is recognizable to me. So, I mean, maybe everyone in this is just young. Yeah, everyone's young in this. So.
Talent. And they're hoping that they, find some diamonds in the rough in there.
I was trying to find a budget on this film, too, because I feel like that's always important to, like, keep in mind.
And the movie industry is nice in that they're very open about like all of that kind of stuff.
It's only
we find
90
out
million.
This stuff. Yeah, it's a very cheap movie. The CG.
So like even if they make 200 million, which I think is
it'll make its money back.
For sure, because they put that
But
much
it
in.
might be the case of like Batman v Superman, where like has a very strong opening weekend, but no one's returning to see that movie, and it drops like the drop from Batman v Superman's opening weekend to like the weekend after
Yeah.
is super significant. But even if that happens to Sonic, it will make its money. There's no way it's not going to make 90 million back.
Yeah. Well, the movie comes out. I was also looking at the other movies. Let's see what other movies we got here. On November. This is 2018. No, give me 2019, yo. November 2019. Because it comes out November 8th, which is on my brother's birthday. So I'm sure he will see it.
Interesting fact.
It's an interesting fact.
Me and the boys are going to go see Sonic.
I'm trying to find a list here. Charlie's Angels. Frozen 2 is November 21st. So there's not much out. A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
Frozen 2 is going to kill it, but...
A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, maybe. I'm saying, we got to remember, Frozen 2 doesn't come out until the end of the month. So I'm saying, like, if Sonic can, like, solidify itself for, like, those two and a half
And all we
weeks,
know is November, right?
So
or do we have an actual date?
November 8th, I think.
Okay. Yeah, so if it comes out before Frozen, then yeah, it'll make its 90 million back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a very large majority of that will be the opening weekend guaranteed.
And you want to make a... Do you want to make
and I'm sure it's going to be one of these movies that sits in theaters for like almost 2 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If not like over that. And it will make back. I mean, like, I'm also just talking the domestic office.
Yeah.
The international box office is going to eat that up.
You want not to make a bet, but you want to guess? You want to place like early guesses before trailers come out and stuff of how much do you think they will make in just domestic, not international, just do domestic.
Domestic?
Yeah. Because I was gonna guess 350. I think I'm gonna go 350.
Wow, I think that's honestly generous.
You think so?
I'm leaning more towards.
I was gonna say 200, but I'm like
200. Honestly, like I can see it being as low as 130 domestic.
It really, I think, depends on whether or not that first like week it comes out, it's like reaction. I feel like if enough people. Like I'm talking about like the nerd fandom, you know, like the average Star Wars person or the, you know, Detective Pikachu person who like not that invested in it. I'm saying
us
like
alone are not going to get it to 300 million.
Well, so I'm saying the Sonic fanboys are not going to get to 300 million. But I'm saying if it does good, like is a movie as a sense of how good it is. If the movie gets like reaction, like hey, this movie's actually good. I think the average nerd person is going to go out and see it. Then I feel like a lot of people are not going to see it because they're like, it's fucking Sonic, you know what I mean? Or like, it's another video game movie. It's going to be trash. You know what I mean?
Well, we have Frozen 2 coming out. You said November 20 something.
Yeah, so about 2 weeks.
If this movie has bad trailers or trailers that suggest this movie is going to be not great, you're not going to see that initial push. But if it turns out, you know, there's a lot of word of mouth, like, oh yeah, it wasn't bad, or I would take your kids to see it or whatever. It has a small sliver before Frozen 2 comes out, before like, you know, to make up that money. But like, if it had really smartly, edited trailers that like gets people, I don't want to say hyped because it's a Sonic the Hedgehog movie, but it gets people interested to be like, yeah, I want to see that. Or like, oh, when is Sonic coming out? Oh, it's coming out the 8th. You doing anything? Oh, let's just go see it. You know what I mean? As opposed to like, oof, that Sonic movie, those trailers look bad, and then just like not thinking about it until you hear that, yeah, it was better than I thought.
Yeah,
and then
maybe
like,
I'm curious if they're gonna drop a trailer before Detective Pikachu, because I think that's the audience they need to get for sure, or in that general 100%. Audience. Because I think, 100%. And if that movie does bad, I think Sonic will do even worse. I think also, I hate comparing like movies like that just in terms of money, but I think Sonic does depend a little bit on Detective Pikachu. I don't think there's anything wrong in saying that, right? I mean,
well, I don't have the tweet pulled up, but the I forgot his full name. His name is Jordan, and he's directing. Well, he's attached in any case to be the director of the Metal Gear Solid movie whenever that gets put into production. He's just attached to it. He saw a screening of Detective Pikachu, and he said he's also the director of Kong Skull Island, by the way.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Jordan, its name starts with a V.
No, I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
He said this movie, well, he tried using like, you know, Pokemon terms like it was super effective, blah blah blah. But basically, he was saying the video game curse is over. Like this broke it. This doesn't need any of that. And he said that whenever a Pokemon is on screen and given attention, it's the same level of care and affection audiences have when they saw like Iron Man in his suits, building his suits, tinkering with
Yeah.
robots. That's what he said. So
But
I feel
also-
like that. I feel like that the Detective Pikachu movie is going to do well. I think it's actually going to be good.
Yeah, no, I
And
think so,
that
too.
might get people, to your point, excited for another video game movie
Yeah, and
that's
it's
live action with
and there-
CG
and it is-
free renditions of the characters.
I'm not saying it's similar, but like I feel like for a general person who doesn't have any like, you know, significant video game knowledge, will be
Right.
like,
It's
oh,
just-
my
it's a
kid
video
loves.
game movie.
Oh,
It's a
my kids
cartoon
love
character.
Pikachu. I mean, maybe my kids are like Sonic, or like I've seen my kid playing Sonic Forces or whatever the hell it's called again. You know what I mean? Like something like that. I think that movie could determine slightly, not 100%, but
And they aren't competing.
they aren't
either.
competing. So I think that's good. I think it's
farly spaced away.
yeah, it isn't
Fairly
like
spaced away.
they're overlapping by a month or something like that. So I think, and usually November I feel like is not like a good movie month. So I think it's a good. I mean, besides Frozen 2, but
And that's its biggest competition. But like we said, it has the luxury of like 2 weeks
yeah,
before that.
it needs to make its money
Before
in
it
those
gets
first 2
destroyed.
weeks before it gets absolutely destroyed by Frozen 2.
Which had a trailer already. And
That's
that
true.
looks like it's bringing the hype for that movie, at least bringing interest.
That's why
Like-
I think the trailer's got to be around the corner, especially if they showed it at CinemaCon. Maybe like they showed it there and they're like, maybe we need to tweak it a little bit. You know what I mean? Just, if they felt like the reaction was
And
not
yeah,
what
they always
wanted.
do test kind of like stuff like
Or it'll be a
that. Like,
teaser, technically. I don't know.
yeah, that's the thing with movies. It'll be a 2-minute footage of movie, and they'll just call that was a teaser. It's like, what? No, that's just a trailer. Like,
And I wonder how much they'll show. I mean, from what I've read, is that they did show Sonic. They did show Dr. Robotnik. There was that one nipple joke that they talked about, or being breastfed.
is there any even confirmation that of any of the other Sonic characters going to be in the movie?
That's the other thing. Is Knuckles going to be in it? Is Tails?
Tails.
I mean, Tails I feel like should be in it before Knuckles.
Because I think there's a philosophy here for trying to make this, like, if you put all of the Sonic characters, or, all the big important ones in this movie, and you pay a strong attention to each of them because you want this movie to succeed very well, you want attention brought to it, you could be potentially leaving out stuff you might use in sequels. But if you try to hold off for some Sonic cinematic universe and like, no, we're not going to have Knuckles. We're going to maybe have a little bit of Tails, but we want to save them for a Sonic and Tails the movie or whatever. And then like you're potentially setting yourself up to make a terrible movie that no one wants to see another one of.
But how many of those characters are worth putting in? I'm gonna take that take because I know a lot of people
I would
love
have
Sonic
Tails,
and his
Knuckles,
characters. But yeah,
and
those are my
that's it.
3. I don't give 2 shits about the other ones.
Like
Knuckles
if this
is cool.
movie does very well, maybe do a Sonic and Shadow like movie or whatever. But like,
I don't even want
I'm not
Shadow,
saying
man. I
throw
don't
the
even
full,
want.
like brigade of furries in there,
No.
But like,
No, I think I'd be okay with just Knuckles and Tails. I'd be more than happy if they just at least have Tails in it. But from what I've seen, I don't see any confirmation that there is any other characters in this. So like maybe
And
they're
it
just
might
doing
be
this as a.
good.
And that's the other thing is
that.
that maybe it's better off that Sonic's by himself.
maybe it
and-
gives them more time to focus on, whatever they want to make the character do or whatever.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're like holding back in a way. I don't know.
Yeah, because I'm looking at all the other reported characters in this movie. We have Tissue Girl, New Girlfriend, Secretary of Homeland Security, Roundhouse Waitress, Line Dancer, Crazy Carl, Minivan Kid number 1, and Agent Stone. So
You
I'm
know
guessing
what this sounds like to me? That thing I was saying earlier where there's going to be a whole lot of fish out of water jokes. And
Yeah.
you said Homeland Security, there's going to be a military
is this
presence.
going to be Thor? Is this straight up just going to be Thor? I'm starting to
I
think about it.
so.
It's just going to be
And like,
Sonic was fighting
That movie was bad.
Dr. Robotnik, and all of a sudden he's in a small town because they said there's a local sheriff. I'm like, is this just gonna be Thor, but it's Sonic? And he's at least Thor had a jacked dude to look
the
at.
government,
you know what I mean?
sets up this big excavation site all around like a ring that's buried in the ground or some stupid.
If they did it like
garbage
on
like
the
that.
nose like that, though, I actually went like that. If they're like, we literally just did Thor.
And then you could have Knuckles in it, like Hawkeye was in that movie, but then like have him barely in it, and no one remembers that Knuckles was in the movie. So when you do
good.
like what Sonic and Friends, the movie team up, it's like, oh, what do you mean Knuckles was in this movie before?
Sonic 2, The Dark Shadow instead of Dark World or whatever.
I think you're right. A small town government cover up of a incident involving
blue
Dr.
hedgehog.
Robotnik. Well, they don't know about Sonic yet, but like Dr.
Ooh, here's an
Robotnik is
idea.
causing a stink, and the government's trying to cover it up or blah blah blah. And
Here's-
Sonic knows the only way to defeat Robotnik is he collects money.
Here's
form of
another
rings.
maybe interpretation. As
Okay.
Tika Sumter, the vet, says, I'm one of the ones who helps get Sonic through the dimension of a world and figure it out. Does that necessarily mean he comes from another dimension? Could he be made in a lab? Because
No,
she's a vet.
I think that's.
Or is that too much of a stretch, you'd think? But I mean, this is all. I'm basing this all off.
I think he's
one
referring
quote.
to fish out of water humor. I think that's literally it.
All right, because
But I mean, if it were to be made in the lab, then that's even worse than the popping out of a TV.
I don't want an origin story for Sonic personally. It's like that's what I think.
And I have a feeling that like
Spider-Man:
it probably
Homecoming did a good job of. Is like you already know the origin story. You don't. I mean,
isn't. Spider-Man and Sonic are on different levels.
I know,
though.
but
I
like,
mean,
do we
we've
need an
had
origin?
Spider-Man's origin.
Do we need an origin
hit it.
for Sonic? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want one because I feel like then you're just.
No, I think if anything, the closest you get to an origin, ideally, is just that like he lives with a whole bunch of his friends, and then this guy shows up and he's destroying the environment, and he wants to stop him. Like it's
Yeah.
not like we need to see Sonic like, oh, your old man over here wants to pass down his running shoes or any like garbage like that. You know what I mean? Just like no,
Old man Sonic.
he's a blue guy that runs fast. All of his friends are different colors. 'Cause it's 2019. Let's be real.
What if Jim Carrey, Dr. Robotnik, is like a mad scientist, but like he has no idea of Sonic, and maybe like he opens a portal that happens to be that world, and then Sonic's like, yo, what the hell? Who are you?
I mean,
and it turns into that.
because like if
Like maybe
there's going to be some random magazine article or whatever that's going to contradict whatever I'm saying. I don't know what Sega's official canon is, but like to my knowledge, Robotnik is a person from not where Sonic is, I guess.
Yeah.
And like because he's the only human in any of the classic Sonic games, and he's mechanicalizing their world or whatever, and he's taking all
Didn't his
Sonic's
daughter-
furry little friends and putting them in robots or
yeah,
whatever.
didn't
That's
his
why.
daughter die of cancer too? Wasn't that like
Oh, that was in the Sonic Adventure 2 and Shadow the Hedgehog game. I don't know if they necessarily go with that, but like just regular classic, like because if it seems to be like you were saying, he comes from another dimension. That dimension's probably not going to be another Earth with people that also happen to have 5 animals that
It's
walk
gonna be
on 2
some
feet. I think it's going to be like
fantasy world.
the classic Sonic. It's just like
Green Hills.
all animal people live there. So like maybe that is an angle, like you were saying. Like Eggman isn't even from our world or their world, because like he looks a little cartoony. You said that people said on Reddit, and he bumps into Sonic's thing or whatever, and he takes something valuable, and he then pops over to Earth, and Sonic jumps through the portal last second, Indiana Jones style or whatever.
Yeah, let me look up
Maybe
to see if I can
that's
find
I don't know.
Dr. Robotnik, Jim Carrey, because I could have sworn it's what I read, but like now I don't know. I couldn't really find anything.
And we barely
and
have
Reddit-
anything to go on, right?
Yeah,
It's
and
just
Reddit,
random
how much are
comments
we
here and
gonna?
there.
In Reddit, people are gonna purposely say stuff that isn't real just to drive the fan base crazy, because people will be like, oh, I saw the trailer, it's nuts, man, and just like very vague, and they're like, oh my gosh, and then they have like the expectation going in. So,
Right.
uh,
Because like, how many people saw the trailer? So then
yeah,
someone's gonna be like, "Oh my god!" And then when Sonic does like the break dancing thing, whatever, it's like, "Oh my god," or whatever. Like, but they could have just lied,
yeah. Well, one of the few things we do know what they look like is Sonic from that one picture. Here, I'll link you the Polygon article. I think you said
Hmm.
you read it already, but like even the thumbnail right there, the first picture is what
Hmm.
the one on the left is the one that's what Sonic looks like. But then someone just did like a quick Photoshop one on the right, and I'm like, that looks so much better. It actually
It
looks
honestly
Sonic.
does. It looks proportion. It looks like his head is
It's
proportional to what it is in the games and in the
yeah,
artwork. It's like, again, budgeted 90 million. So then we have a director that's basically brand new. That's not going to like say he's from nowhere, but he's basically brand new. We have a staff of 6 writers that are basically brand new to a Hollywood large budget in quotes
yeah,
production movie. So then what about like the art staff? What about the wardrobe? You know what I mean? All that kind of stuff. Like, I'm going to assume we don't have the team that made Mad Max Fury Road, caravanned over, and now they're helping make the Sonic movie. So we probably have people that they have degrees and all that stuff. I'm not saying they plucked them off the street, but like,
yeah, for sure.
could it be a case of that? You know what I mean? Like looking in the picture, like, yeah, his hand is very proportional to a human compared to what it is in the video game. Like the spacings of his eyes. I don't know, like everything about like that, the actual leaked photo for the poster
Yeah, and then there's that other
doesn't look like
photo of
Sonic.
the full body cutout, which I don't even know if that's real. I'm assuming it's real, but like, why is it so like terribly cut out? You know what I mean? Like, I want to know the context of that image. Like, where is he standing? You know what I mean? Is he in a road? Is he on a bridge? Is he in the
Well,
water?
like
Like,
bridge, like that other poster that leaked there, where the
which is just
camera's like in
like,
his crotch. You just see his ridiculously long legs.
which is
But
also weird. Is like, yeah, Sonic goes fast, but like, I don't know how I feel about him having like really long legs. Like, Sonic, yeah, I don't know.
well, the Sonic fan community went through this before with Sonic Boom, and I think people were okay because they realized, or not that they realized, but it wasn't a replacement for what Sonic is currently
He
canon wise or whatever.
because
It's
this
just, you can look like this, you can also look like that, and he can look like this, weirdly muscular tiny man
that's what it looks like.
with a mullet,
Someone had a child that is like at the age of like
ripped.
yeah, but he's like 18, just like, but he's also hairy and blue. You know what I mean? Like, and
Yeah.
he's wearing Jordans or whatever those are, Nikes. There, it'd be cool. Good marketing, by the way. If they had actual like Jordans or something that not Jordans, but like Nike shoes from the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying, like we had with
I like
the
the
Spider-Man movie.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at this cutout.
It
It's not great. It's not. It looks. I'm gonna go like, I know we
I guess
disagree
Sonic
on
does have long
Detective
legs. I
Pikachu,
think it's
but they managed to make Detective Pikachu, all those Pokemon look like they belong in real life. They look believable while still maintaining the proportions of what the characters have always looked like. And this looks like, I don't want to say an amateur or novice attempt, but it kind of looks like people are like, oh, let's make Sonic look realistic.
yeah.
How do we do that? We can't just make a really like furry and good lighting rendition of a CG character. We need to
Yeah.
actually like, it almost kind of looks like, instead of like fully animating him, they're mocapping someone in a green suit. You know what I mean? That's doing all that kind of stuff. And that's probably what's happening. And then they're just, I don't know, putting the features over it.
Yeah.
It looks bad.
I guess you're right about the long legs thing. I guess he does have long legs. I just don't remember him having like it's not like a feature that I'm like stands out to me, I guess. Like to me it's his face, you know what I mean? It's his goofy looking eyes and his slightly like long nose and his ears. Like I think when I think of Sonic, I think of his face. And I feel like why isn't
Mhm.
that his main feature on this design? Why is it that not like I'm all all for like
His eyes are
changes.
so small. His hair, or what I guess I always called it like hair, but you know, his massive hedgehog spikes are so like, I don't know, like bedhead
He
looking.
looked like he
You know,
gelled
his
it
ears
quickly
are
together.
tiny.
Like he gelled it this morning with Axe or whatever, the Axe gel there. And it's like,
And
yeah, I'm
like, yeah,
going to
he's wearing
school.
Jordans, I get it, but his shoes don't even look
He
like
looks like
that.
he
And
should
like,
be in
he's
school.
not wearing gloves. His hands are just white.
He should be in
You know,
animal
it's
school. Animal school. That's what he looks like. Doesn't look like Sonic. Looks like a weird crossbreed of a human and Beast.
and I
Beast.
can
It's
sense it
Beast.
now.
It's
He
X
doesn't
Men.
he didn't wear shoes in his dimension. He came here and he saw those Jordans product placement paying for that 90 million.
Yeah.
And like, oh, I need those. Do you have size, I don't know, 2.5? Because I'm tiny. You know,
Yeah. How
it's like,
tall is he in this image? Like,
I'm gonna assume
is
he's
he
3'5".
6"? You want to say he's that small? See, I'm
I'm
looking
gonna
at him.
say he's around there. I don't think he's tall.
The way I'm looking at him, he almost like maybe it's just a picture, but makes me think he's like at least like 6 foot, and he's just gonna be this monster of a man.
Jeez.
I hope he's smaller though. Because he is.
Well, I mean,
I feel like he
it would
is
be
smaller
weird
in the game.
because, like,
So
he's always shorter than Robotnik in the games. Of course, granted, they clearly don't really care about like the proportions of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That he's always been shown. So who knows? But no, like maybe not 3'5", maybe 4'5".
yeah.
You know what I mean? At the very tallest. I don't think he's gonna be like. I don't think he's gonna be playing basketball in those shoes.
Oh yeah. So I
Yeah.
did find and here's the one quote I have from slashfilm.com. Not that it's like super reputable, but it's something that came up when I was researching, and it was about the trailer that they watched. They said, here's a quote.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, the evil Dr. Robotnik, played by Jim Carrey, and a mustache, is also on the prowl. Carrey's scenes are incredibly over the top and painfully unfunny. The look of Carrey's character starts off odd, but slowly transforms into something similar to the way Robotnik looked in the games. Speaking of the games, the footage packed in several visual elements pulled right from them, but is that enough to bring in fans? So I don't know how to interpret that too much. Like, that's why I don't know if I'm right with the cartoony stuff.
The standout line you said
Jim
is
Carrey.
painfully unfunny. And like, if this is Jim Carrey and he's supposed to be the one, he's the biggest acting name.
He has to be the one who's gonna, I think,
carry the movie.
yeah,
and
joke on his last name. But yeah, I mean, for me, like
that was unintentional, but yeah.
But no, like, for real. I mean, for me, I've always liked Jim Carrey growing up, especially with I had all those Ace Venturas and stuff.
When I cat sitted for you, I saw those 2 DVDs of Ace Ventura. So I clearly, obviously, Jim Carrey is a. But yeah, no, like, he is the biggest acting name in here, and like, if the things he's doing are cringeworthy, then I don't really think there's any saving.
That's one of my hopes, is that like, if it's just all right, it's a win. I think everyone has the expectation going in. I mean, maybe that's just us. Maybe the Sonic fans, if you're listening, let me know. Are you going into this film with a positive outlook already? You know what I mean? Like, I think this is one of the few characters. I mean, I think because of the video games we play, I think we already have a kind of a negative connotation with Sonic. But I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of the average person. What do people think of Sonic generally?
I think anyone that has a kid that brings them to see that movie, they'll be like, that was another dumb kids movie that my kid liked.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone that doesn't have a kid doesn't like, know what Sonic is, or you know what I mean? Not like us in any stretch of the imagination, doesn't play games, doesn't want to see it out of a sense of irony or whatever, would just be like, well, I'll just not see that,
Yeah, I mean, that's what my thing is. It's like, how
it's going to be like a random DreamWorks movie, you know what I mean? That like,
you have like
take
stuff
your
like
kid to, and they're just like, yay, there was bright colors on screen, and I got fed snacks, and I needed to pee halfway through.
But they did say like there is some. Jim Carrey said in his interview, he's like, yeah, there's some edge to it, but it's still going to be family friendly. So I'm like, like, is there going to be a slightly suggestive joke in there that it'll be like, haha, for the parents who are watching? Like, I'm okay with that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, Shrek, for example, does a good job of there being stupid humor for kids to understand, but also humor that like
Every PG movie is allowed one swear that isn't like one of the major ones. They can say, "Oh, this is crap," or
that's
whatever. And
another thing. Is
that's
this movie gonna be PG or PG-13?
oh, I think it's gonna be PG.
You think it's gonna be
If it's
PG?
PG-13, then they clearly have no idea what they're doing. Because why would they make all these weird decisions and not have it?
I mean,
Like,
I
if it's
personally would want.
PG-13, then they would be aiming at like us.
Yeah,
If
that's what
it's
I'm
PG,
saying.
it's aiming at children, and I think it looks like they're aiming at children.
Yeah, which is fine. I think that's another thing we have to like lay off a little bit for. I mean, for us too, is that we're older. We know we're gonna be like we like Sonic enough to be like care about this film, and I do want it to do good. I would like. I don't like bad things. You know what I mean? I don't want things to be bad.
Mm-hmm.
And like Sonic has been kind of bad for most of his career, generally speaking, in terms of his video games. But he does have some great games out there and, fun features and all that. And I want this movie to do well. And I'm like, how much do I want this to cater to me? How much do I want this to cater to the general audience? And I think we have to let it cater to the general audience.
Which would make it succeed more. And I have no idea.
That's what I'm saying. I think you're right with the PG thing. I think they should aim for PG. I think it'd be cooler for us if it was PG-13. I think we probably might enjoy it more if it's PG-13.
I just think that, like, based off what we've seen of the character design and the general, I don't even want to call it plot. We don't really have a plot,
The only
but a
plot
general
I
sense of what
see,
the movie's going to be about. I think if they were trying to cater to us, then like then they're not. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's apparent that it's aimed at not Sonic fans.
which is, I think we should accept that that's okay. I'm actually all for it because I think if you cater too much to one audience, it ruins the film. If you try to be too much of a Sonic, like I'm okay with like it. Yes, it has to be Sonic, or if it doesn't have these features, I think it's not Sonic.
Mm-hmm.
But
And
I don't want it to be over the top where it's like, yes, Dr. Robotnik has to have this origin, you know what I mean? Or Sonic has to say these things or go a certain...
gotta go fast.
Or
I mean, if he doesn't say that, I mean, come on. No, I'm with you. But I think if we go back to Detective Pikachu, like, yes, that is based off a 3DS game that no one played or whatever, but like the general story and some of the characters, but like they didn't go out being like, we're gonna make Pokemon Red and Blue in a movie. We're making instead something that can much cater to a general audience, something that is less risky. You know what I mean?
Fun,
we're not gonna piss off fans by ruining, like a chance at making the video game in the form of a movie. We're gonna make something in the Pokemon world with those characters. And if it does really, really well, and if people latch onto the things that we can then make an actual video game movie off of, then great. If not, then this isn't, I don't want to say important or not canon, but it can feel like it's a side thing. Like, oh, we can still one day try to make that actual Pokemon movie, live action or whatever, because Detective Pikachu wasn't that, and it's not ruining the chance of that. But with Sonic here, I know, it's not based off a game or whatever, but it doesn't feel like it's like it just happens to be in the Sonic universe where we're dipping our toe in and seeing like no, it's about Sonic the Hedgehog and he fucking looks like a little man,
little blue man.
Like, so like if I don't want to say if, or I don't want to say when, but like if this movie, and it feels like it probably is going to bomb critically. I think it is going to make that 90 million back, but bomb critically.
Yeah,
I think it ruins the chance of making but for real now, a real Sonic movie. Like I think it ruins that chance for a decade.
And I think it also affects the other video game movies. Unless, I mean, not saying Detective Pikachu is going to be bad or anything, but even if that movie does well, it's gonna like I think. We have to cheer. We have to cheer for this film too. I don't want people. That's the other thing is I feel like
movie.
I feel like a lot of people are going to shit on this film, regardless. And I mean, like we are kind of right now, but I do want the movie to succeed because I want more takes on this.
I think it's the next gold mine. I mean, I don't think comic book movies have been tapped for all that they're worth by far, but I think the next craze can easily be video game movies. And I think it took them a while to figure out what made a comic book movie work. They
Yeah.
latched onto the aspects
And
of
video games are
what
still young
people
too.
get from a
And
comic
yeah,
book.
video
And
games are
like,
young, and movies about video games are even younger. So like, we're gonna have these crappy movies, and I understand
right.
that, but that's why I think I am cheering for this film. I don't want people to think that I'm not or we aren't cheering for this film. I think we want the film to do good. I want to go in this movie on opening night. We're going on opening night, by the way.
Yep.
I want to go into this movie and come out of the theater being like, you know what? I had a good time. And for the right reasons. I don't want to come out of that film being like, that was so shitty. It made me laugh a lot for the wrong reasons, and that's why I had a good time
because it's bad.
I'd be like, you know what? Actually, Jim Carrey did a great job, or Ben Schwartz was a great Sonic. You know what I mean? Something like that.
Yeah,
I want to come out of the theater feeling
more
that.
I look at like the leaked poster,
It's not,
and the fan creation. I'm noticing more and more things on the official thing that aren't like correct atomically. Like his eye is just a regular human looking
and like
eye.
maybe the design will grow on
And,
us.
like-
I'm just worried mostly about the plot,
Yeah,
the
and
characters.
you're right on growing on us. We have literally nothing really to go off of besides a couple leaked promotional material.
Yeah.
And what some people said,
Maybe the trailer
what
be
their
cool.
opinions are about the trailer. But like, and like this character design looks bad.
Yeah.
It looks bad, but it's also not in motion. It's also not talking. It's also not interacting with other characters. So I don't think it's 100% fair to, throw him under the bus. I think it's justified to throw him under the bus, but it might not be fair. I don't know.
My thing is, I'm excited for this trailer to come out. I think it's gonna come out any week now, just because it's came out in CinemaCon, and since the movie comes out in November, I feel like usually you drop your first teaser 6 or 7 months out, and then we'll probably have something more maybe in like August or even September, the latest.
It just like, and that's you bring up 6 months or whatever. Like the whole marketing plan, the marketing push. Okay, this far away from the movie, we released trailer number 2 or whatever, and now
I don't think the marketing
now
come
the
out.
toys are revealed. But like what I'm getting at is that like they announced the movie, they didn't even want to show what he looks like, and they keep holding that back. But then they show a test audience at Comic-Con or whatever the trailer before officially showing what Sonic looks like, and I just feel like it's just a little weird, don't you think?
I would rather
Like,
show Sonic right up
that's
front. He isn't Jaws. You know what I mean? He isn't something like, you're not going to the theater to see what Sonic looks like. You know what I mean? It isn't. That's the thing with like Jaws, Alien,
It's
Godzilla.
like, what are you afraid of?
These, yeah, like
it's almost like they aren't so confident in his design. Like the movie isn't going to fully embrace like the absurdity of what he looks like.
the only thing I like in that poster is the font of Sonic, where it's kind of like that neon lighting look to it. I like that if they can go for like that kind of look, but I don't feel like that design is gonna fit it. I like my vibrant colors, so I like my neon.
I just don't like
stuff.
the fact that like the sea has like a cutout of Sonic's silhouette in it, and not just like, I don't know, regular. But
yeah, but at least it has this blue and red. At least they stuck with that.
Sure. But I mean, like,
like
you
make a good point. It's like
gloves.
You're not going to see this film for the design of Sonic or what does Sonic look like. It's not like we're going to only have 5 minutes of Sonic throughout the whole film. Maybe we will. That'd be mind blowing to me if they did that.
But
you know what I mean? Like
the movie Sonic.
Like what made Alien, for example, good is that you don't know what the alien looks like. I mean, now everyone
Alien
knows
was
what it is.
based off something that already existed.
Yeah.
It's different.
You're not
points.
trying
I understand
to-
what you're saying, but like to me, it's just like it doesn't.
You should be
it doesn't
advertising
reek
him
that they have
what he
confidence.
looks like. It does. Yeah, that's the same thing. I was thinking too. It's just like you not have confidence in what he looks like, because I think it'd look cool if he was in that poster.
It almost feels to me that they want to slip this movie out, quickly make its money, before like people realize, oh my god, why? You know what I mean? It's almost like they're trying to go for shock of like, wow, do you know next month there's a Sonic movie and here's what it looks like? You know what I mean?
Fuck?
Like, oh man, want to see the Sonic movie? I think like as opposed to like, I don't know, Detective Pikachu, we heard about it forever, and then they showed a trailer last fall. Like they revealed what everything looks like. And
they weren't hiding.
That felt like
Pikachu.
they were confident in what that movie is.
Yeah, I feel like if they were doing what they're doing now, I think people would be nervous. I think people.
And again, apples to oranges. I don't know what the budget of Detective Pikachu is. I'm sure it's a magnitude higher than Sonic.
I'm not,
because Sonic. It seems like might only have a one CG character.
Pokemon Detective Pikachu. Let's see.
20 million.
Give me a sec here.
There's a recent trailer for Detective Pikachu that shows a whole bunch of Pokemon that weren't in the other two or three trailers.
I don't see
it just seems like that's a huge budget.
I don't see a budget right now.
That's okay. But I think it's safe to assume it's a lot higher than Sonic's. And while granted, what you do with the budget, your mileage may vary, but it just feels that like Detective Pikachu was far more confident in what it was than the Sonic movie is. I don't know.
No, I agree. 100%.
And like, why wouldn't you want to like go, all out and be confident in what you made, considering what Sonic's legacy is?
Sonic is a confident character
of mostly bad stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, to me,
and being like weekly, being like, oh, like here's a silhouette. You know what I mean? And like we're gonna show a trailer, but not to everyone yet, and we're not, people don't even know what he looks like or what the plot is, and we only have
like
one.
You're not teasing anyone. You know what I mean? You're not teasing anybody. Like this isn't Avengers 8. You know what I mean? This is this ain't Star Wars Episode 9 or 10 or whatever number we're on now. Like people aren't looking for this film, so stop teasing it as if it is.
When they saw that poster pop up, I guarantee this. I'm gonna stake my life on it. No one was like, "Oh yeah, let's go." Like the reaction was like, "Oh man, they really are doing this, huh?" Like Sonic can't catch a break. Like I would have never thought that the Sonic cycle of like people getting vaguely interested in a new Sonic game, having it come out and being the new worst thing would apply to a movie.
If Sonic was a real life thing, he'd be so disappointed. Like I feel like I'm
disappointed
so far
for Sonic.
So far. I mean, like I said, I guess we can talk about it now, I guess. But our plan, I guess, for this podcast is if there's any new trailers that come out, any big information, we'll do a show on it or do an episode. Mm-hmm. I know we wanted to do a Pokemon Detective Pikachu review, so we can do that. I think do we want to do a pre-one or should we just do one episode on it after we watch it? Because I think we should do that. I don't know.
For Pikachu, just one. Because, like, again, this isn't the Pokemon movie podcast. Obviously, this is all about our boy Sonic. But it's good.
I think it's still important to talk about because it, like we said earlier, it might determine some of the outcome for Sonic the Hedgehog movie. So I think we should definitely do that. But that's in May 10th, so we don't have that much time. We got about 4.5 weeks here. So after Avengers, probably. We'll get off the high of Avengers and we get right into Pokemon. So
Avengers is about 2 weeks.
25th, baby.
Yeah.
But I think that's it on our agenda. Besides, we have to name this podcast. We have to.
That's right.
So I have a couple minutes
left. I'm going to go
left.
right off the bat.
Yeah, go hit me.
Really basic name. Really obvious. The Sonic the Hedgehog movie show.
Okay. Solid. You have any other ones? Or is that it?
No.
Because I have Sonic the Hedgecast, but I feel like it will come across as too much Sonic. Like it's just about Sonic everything. Mm-hmm. So I don't like that. I had Podcast the Hedgehog.
Got to have movie in it. And it's got to have the sense of irony to it.
Sonic the Hedgecast movie. Podcast the Hedgehog. Green Hill, more like Sand Hill.
Yeah.
Can you say it again? I liked it. Say it
what
again.
I
though.
said?
Yeah, say it again though.
The Sonic movie show is basic, or the Sonic the Hedgehog movie show. I like it.
Or even Sonic movie show.
Yeah.
Whatever one you pick, because you said you're going to design the cool little art that you'll already see. That I don't know what it looks like, but you'll see it when you're listening.
So the Sonic movie show. I think that's great.
That's good. And we'll continue this show and up until the movie with all the news. We'll talk about that. We'll discuss any big things, or
we'll have a big topic each episode.
Yeah.
So I'd say look forward to it.
Yeah. I don't know if we'll do a thing where we like, not fan mail, because let's be real, we don't have any fans to start off with, but I'm not opposed to like, reading off things if people send us stuff, but that is,
let's hold off until we actually have
yeah.
people watching.
Well, that's what I meant, like
or listening
down the road, but yeah, we'll do as many episodes as we can in terms of the big stuff, and then I think we're gonna do, before the Sonic movie comes out, we'll do like probably the week before it comes out, after we've seen all the trailers, the TV spots, all that good stuff. We'll discuss all that stuff, and we'll probably predict what this, like, more in detail, what's gonna happen in this film, how good is it.
It'll be a full hype-filled episode, so expect that in 6 months. But next week we'll probably talk more about
next week. We're doing this next week.
Every week.
Okay, I don't know about that. I might have to.
Every day
from here on out. We have.
No, but next episode, expect a big topic about the movie.
I think the next episode will probably be a trailer. I think I'll be shocked if they don't drop a trailer within the next week or two, or a teaser, whatever you want to call it.
I don't know if they're not confident in this movie. We might be waiting until like
August.
Oh yeah, remember there was this movie. Here's what he finally looks like.
All right. Where can they find you, or do you want people to find you? No. Plug anything?
You can find me on Twitter at absolutelyethan, spelled regularly. All right.
You can find me, I guess, on, I think it's at Cursona YouTube. Yeah, that's what it is on Twitter. I stream on twitch.tv/CursonaFun. And if you found this on SoundCloud, there's a YouTube channel, which I'll link, I think, somewhere in the description. I think you can put a description in SoundCloud, but it's just Cursona.
Yep. And make sure, if you liked this, and only if you like this, to, leave a like, leave a subscribe. Comment. Wherever you find this, do the thing that makes it better. But
make
only
our egos,
if you like this.
Make our egos go up, please, because they're fragile. Very fragile.
Nowhere to go but up.
All right, Ethan, you want to send us out with a Sonic quote?
The Sonic quote? More like Sandhill.